Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Instead, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you say, Don Laird, give me justice. You don't even think to call me Sherpa.
What are you gonna do? Big college boy, huh? You didn't want to get mixed up in the family business? Now you want to gun down a police captain because he smacked you in the face a little bit? What do you think, this is the army where you shoot him from a mile away? You gotta get up close and bada bing. You blow his brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
What's just as synonymous with mafia movies as guns and making all Italian Americans look like gangsters? That's right, cigars. Today I'm reviewing the CAO Consigliere, formerly the Soprano. I'm Laird Mayhew, I'm the Cigar Sherpa. Stay tuned. All right. What's going on? I just want to say thank you to the people that have already subscribed and been looking out for us on social media, recommending this page. If you're first time here, welcome to the page. Hit that subscribe button. All right, so like the intro said, I've got the CAO Consigliere, okay? If you're an Italian American, you don't know what consigliere is. You know what consigliere is. Basically what this cigar is the Soprano. If you remember the show, of course, you probably have all heard of it. If you're like me, I was a big fan of it. I've seen every episode probably 4 or 5 times at least, especially the first season. But CAO got with the HBO production company, and they came up with a cigar for the show. Well, as you know, sadly, the show ended, and CAO, I guess, they didn't want to pay the licensing fee to keep the cigar going, so they took it off the shelf. Well, they brought it back. Similar color, black and red, new band. Supposedly, it's the same flavor, or same blend as the Soprano. So this is the Consigliere, the Associate Robusto, which is a 52 by 5. 52 by 5. I don't know. I'm really bad about that. I grab a cigar. I really don't care what sizes it is. I know that if it feels good in my mouth. I know like above a 60 is too big and below a 50 is a little too small. So I really don't get bogged down in the details. I like more than 5.5 inches. But this is 5 inches by 52 ring gauge. It is a 5-country blend, which is exciting. It's got a Brazilian wrapper, which I love. If you're a fan of the full-bodied cigars and Maduro wrappers, then Brazilian Modafina is probably right up in there in your wheelhouse or on your list of what makes you excited. The binder is from Honduras, which is probably going to bring the cigar a little earthiness, a little mellow earthiness, which is what I associate with Honduran cigars. And the filler is a combination of Colombian, Dominican Republic, and Nicaraguan leaf. I'm looking at it here, and there is some dark tobacco right there in the center. Hopefully it's a Ligero, but I'm guessing it's probably mainly a mix of Ligero and Seco. But I don't know because I really didn't delve into it, and I would just be guessing at this point. So right away, it smells delicious. I got to tell you, when I picked this thing up out of in the humidor, I picked it up out of the box. It had cellophane on it, but I opened it up the end and I got the foot smell, and I'm excited about it. It's got a very chocolatey smell. Chocolate. It's sweet, almost like a chocolate covered raisin. They have a name for that. A raisinette. There you go. It's got a sweetness to it. Even the outside. Good tobacco, like, yeah. I'm going to go with a sweet, chocolatey. And of course, tobacco and chocolate mixed together, you're going to have like a coffee flavor. So, smell anyway. Man, that smells good. That is really good. All right, so the construction on this thing is very nice. There's a few veins, but it's a very hardy wrapper. You're not going to have it. It ain't going to be pretty. This is like a man's wrapper. No offense, ladies. No offense, ladies. You just know what I mean. It's more of a gritty, hardy, thick exterior, just like a 5 o'clock shadow. Whereas a Connecticut shade, is going to be nice and baby smooth. So it looks like it's got a triple cap, and it's pretty. It's not a perfect circle, but I mean it's laid in there so nicely that it's very smooth. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and cut this thing up. Today I'm not using my usual guillotine, and I forgot who I bought this from. Okay, I think his name was Zachary at the time. I don't know if he had a company name or not. Out of Arizona, got him on one of the Facebook pages, and this is my 308 punch. I love this thing. Everywhere I take it, everybody's like, "Oh, I got to see that. I got to see that. I got to get one." And I just don't know. I don't have the time to go through all my messages. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to give him a shout out. I think he's got an actual company name now. I think I paid $40 for this because it's the Noveski special bullet. I think he was wanting $25-$30 for the regular brass ones. But check out. You say, how's that going to be a cigar punch? Watch this. Oh, you see that? Spring loaded. So you push that tip into where you want it and center it, and you push down on the cigar, and bada bang, you got a hole. I love it. If you're a gun guy. But all right, the reason why I do that, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're licking the cigar." No, I'm not licking the entire cigar. I just like to kind of get the tip a little moist, so as when I'm pushing on this thing, or I'm turning, or I'm squeezing it to kind of hold it still, I don't bust the sides there. I'm not always that careful. Sometimes I'm driving. Sometimes I just do what I think it's called a Cuban cut, but I call it a Cuban cut to my friends. I just use my teeth. And if you got teeth like mine in the front, you could get in there and kind of chew out that little middle and then pull it out. And it's like a perfect hole punch, but it just won't be cut. Okay, so how I do it, I usually hold the cigar like this, try to get it to where I'm going to have a good firm grip on it without squeezing it. And then of course, now another thing I've seen people do is they try to core this cigar like they're trying to pull out a freaking core sample out of the Arctic. You don't have to do that. You just want to get the cap off. The cap and the binder, maybe. So there you go. One thing I always tend to do, if you can see that, I always tend to off-center the hole, but it don't matter. It really don't matter. I just stick it right down in there and just put like a little piece over and just open it up, and it's a beautiful thing. Look at that. All right, so cold draw. Anyway, hey, back to this. I will find out who you are, and I will shout you out. Anyway, all right. So, cold draw. Man, it's deep earth, fine leather, chocolate, sweetness. Again, like a chocolate covered raisin. And the draw is perfect. I mean, it's not resisting, but it's not flowing through where you're going to get, where you feel like you're just like a bunch of leaves from the ground just rolled up, and it makes the cherry get hot, and which makes the moisture run down the cigar faster, which in turn makes it soggy and bitter and everything. All right, so again, I'm going to maybe one day I'll get a new lighter, or somebody will say, "Hey, you got enough views. Here's a free lighter. Give us some free advertisement," and they'll send me one. But until then, you're going to see me using my AK-47 Vertigo. I just love this thing. So let's get this thing toasted up. I like to hold it. I use a lot of gas. People are like, "Oh, you're wasting gas." I like to hold it about 3 inches away and just toast the foot of that cigar in a circle. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get like a black line where, you know, you got ash and you got that black line. I'm trying to make that as even as I can, almost like tattooing a black line around the thing. That's what I don't always get it, you know. Probably 7-8 times out of 10 I'm not getting it, but that's what I'm aiming for, and sometimes I get it, and I did pretty good here. That's just to kind of help it start burning razor sharp from the beginning. I don't feel any soft spots in here, so I don't anticipate too much running. Maybe right across the top here, it's kind of flat. Maybe where the bunch was folded over. But anyway, let me get this thing lit. Let me tell you, rarely do I get from the first puff. Usually I'll blow out and I'll do an ammonia purge, which is, if you don't know, you hold the cherry to the flame and you blow through the cigar like this. And that little flame that you'll see dancing at the top of the foot, that's ammonia, so you're purging it. So anyway, right away I am getting earthy flavors. It's sweet. Slight pepper on the retrohale. I don't know. There's a zestiness there that I'm not really digging. All right, so a little bit of pepper on the retrohale. Not quite cinnamon, more like black pepper. It's got an earthy flavor, and I'll tell you what, from the construction, the look, the sound, you know, the description, and the smell of it, I was expecting something a little bit more punch. This thing's a little bit weak so far, but again, I don't like to get into a cigar and start bashing it until I get about an inch and a half in there and let the cigar kind of heat up, and you know, maybe they started the blend that's going to blow you away, you know, maybe right there they don't have it at the tip of the cigar. So let me go ahead and get into this thing. I'm going to go ahead and head up down the road. I'm going to head up north to Selma, North Carolina, to the JR Superstore, brick and mortars, big humidor, probably one of the biggest ones around. About a 45-minute drive for me. I'm going to go up there and check out some cigars, pick up some to add to the catalog that I want to review. So anyway, stay tuned with me here. I'm going to get back to this thing when I get into the after the first third, and like I said, right now it's earthy, slightly peppery on the retrohale. I do have that sweet chocolate, but it's faint, and there is a zest. I don't know what it is. It's not citrus, but I'm not really liking it. So other than that, like I said, I'm going to hold my judgment, and I will be back. I'm about 10 minutes into this cigar, and ash is holding on pretty good. It's kind of wonky though, the burn. That flat part that I was talking about, kind of like in the bunch, it's kind of causing it to run there. But the flavors are developing that strong, zesty, I don't know, grapefruity, like orangey zest that I'm not a big fan of. He's gone. I'm about to tip this ash on out the window before it ends up. And look, you see what I'm saying? Look at that. I'm not a big fan of that right there. That core tobacco is there in the middle. Or, yeah, it'll fall off here eventually. But the flavor's picking up. I'm gonna go ahead and get on through the first third and on into the second, and go ahead and stop the truck, pull over, and tell you what I think about it. All right, folks. I am just now into the second third, not too far away from the halfway point of the cigar. Again, it's 5 5 inches, so breaking that up into 3, whatever. That's zingy, zesty flavor that I had in the beginning for the first third. I didn't like it at all. Ruined the cigar for me, but it's gone. Thank you, Jesus. Man, let me tell you. For the last 5 minutes before I pulled over, I've been trying to think of a way to describe this without being too like, oh shit. Out of all those flavors, every cigar is going to find its way into one of those categories. Like, so what I'm getting is very, of course, there's that coffee flavor. That's there. Like a good dark coffee. There's a chocolate flavor. Okay. So like a creamy smoke and sweetness. It's like a dark chocolate latte. A little sweetness, a little creamy, almost buttery flavor in there. Okay, it's delicious. But to round it off, that makes it even more complex, it has a sweet cinnamon taste. And when I say sweet cinnamon, I mean like those little candies, those Red Hots. So imagine you took a dark chocolate, buttery cookie dough, right? And then put in extra butter, and you put in those little holiday cinnamon candies, and you put those in there, and then you baked it halfway, and then ate it. You know what I mean? It would be like gooey, sweet, strong. Delicious. The spice on the retrohale is hard to describe because it doesn't get you like right here, like it doesn't like karate chop you to the face. If you think of your sinuses as circular, okay, like barrels almost, the spice here is getting me on the bottom of that barrel all the way up top. So it's not full, it's slight in the background, but it's there. And it's a cinnamon spice, so it's not even peppery. Buttery chocolate cinnamon candy cake. There you go, man. That's a first for me. I mean, I've had cinnamon and some of the raisins, but I don't know. I got a little bit of a stuffy nose today. That may be impairing some of the flavors that I'm not getting, but the flavors that are making it through that is crazy. I'm really liking this cigar. The burn has been okay. Not razor sharp. The ash is pretty good. Like I said, when I was driving, I'm getting that right on the top. Sometimes when they bunch the cigar up or the way they press it, the top will get flat, or one side will just be like a run that's flat, and that'll cause it to kind of burn at an angle. I didn't really notice that whenever I was looking at the construction. I think I might have pointed it out maybe when I think about it. But now the band, I'm going to go ahead and... This band is weird. It's like got 2 glue points on it, but they're loose. I'm able to move them up and down now that it's warmed up a bit, because it wasn't like that before. But taking off the bands when you're smoking a cigar is one of those questions. I see it all the time in every forum, and people ask me. I guess the Europeans, they like to take the band off because they don't want to be presumptuous. Like, oh, I'm smoking a Cuban cigar. I'm smoking an expensive cigar versus the guy who's over there puffing on his budget cigar. In the United States, we're like, screw that. We want to rub it in everybody's face. So if we're smoking $1 million cigar, we want to smoke it like, you can see the band. We want to smoke it slow. We want to make sure we get plenty of pictures. We want everybody to know that we got it like that. So we typically leave the bands on. But for me, it's not even, I don't even have a preference. I don't care, because usually I've got the cigar on my finger. I'm smoking in my truck. I don't give a shit if you like what I'm smoking, if you're impressed by what I'm smoking, whatever. I don't care. So I will take the bands off if they're loose in the beginning. And I can get them off without damaging that wrapper. Because sometimes a little bit of that glue will spill over and get on the wrapper, but it'll loosen up. It'll kind of melt away as the cigar gets hot. So you can take it off. So, band preference, I don't give a shit either way. So, trust me, there's not a time where you're over there smoking a cigar and you have the band on and I can see what the band is. There's never a time that I'm going to look over and be like, man, that guy's so cool. He's smoking a Monte Cristo Politico. He left that big Politico band on there. It's Politico, actually. We just say Politico. I'm not going to be like, oh, man, that guy's so cool. Now, if I notice a cigar that you're smoking, it's a conversation starter. If it's a cigar that I really like, I'll be like, hey, how you like that? How you like that CAO Consigliere? Maybe, but I'm not ever going to be. And on the flip side, I'm not going to be like, look at that broke-ass mofo over there smoking on that La Finca, thinking he's cool over there with his Consuegra. Because those are actually pretty decent cigars, but they're cheap. So anyway, I'm going to continue heading north on Interstate 95. I'm going over to the brick and mortars, the JR Superstore. I think they say it's one of the largest humidors on the East Coast or maybe in the world. I don't know, but it's big. And I'm really enjoying this cigar, so I want to shut the hell up so I can smoke it because I don't want it to go out. So I will catch you when I get into the last and final third of this cigar. I don't know. The next stop may be me holding like some roach clips, which I'm sure I got around somewhere floating around in this truck. If you know what I mean. All right, stay tuned, folks. All right, and we're back here for the final third of this cigar. And just now getting into that final third. I probably got about, I don't know, 10, 15 more minutes left on it, depending on how hot it gets. But probably right when I got to the end of the second third, into the final third, that zinginess came back that I wasn't a big fan of. It was like an orange peel. Maybe not as bitter as an orange peel. It's kind of a sweet zest, but I just don't like it. But it faded away. It was there for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, and then it went away, and it's back to that same creamy, chocolatey, with the coffee, and it still has that sweet candied cinnamon flavor, which I really enjoy. So the smoke is kind of getting flat now. What I mean by when I say flat or thin, it's, you know, normally I get big old clouds, billowy smoke. There's a texture to the smoke. Sometimes it's chalky, sometimes it's silky, sometimes it's creamy. Now it's more like thin. Sorry. Whew, you see that? That retro hell cinnamon, I mean, it's just like the effect it gives you if you get too much on the retro hell is almost like horseradish. Don't taste like horseradish. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that this cigar has a horseradishy finish, but it has that kick in the nostrils. And I like that. I like it. That's like a karate chop, roundhouse kick, however you want to describe it. Like somebody just smacked you with it, and it's very, very good. So overall, I'm going to go ahead and end this review, and I will say this. I love this cigar. Okay, I love it. I love parts of it. Okay, from beginning to end, I'm not in love with. It's that middle core part that, if they could just extend it out. I don't know what they did. I don't know where that zingy taste is coming from. Grapefruity. That's a good term for it. You know, grapefruit's like not too sweet. It's not too bitter. But candied. It's weird. I don't know. I'm still stuck on that one. Maybe it'll come to me later, a better way to describe that. But I would not add this to my daily cigar arsenal, even though the price is right. And I didn't even look up the price on this. I think it was $8 for this cigar. Maybe it was about $9. It was 8 and change, but it's under $10 and it's above $5. So it's in a daily arsenal category as far as price. And even though I love that core flavor, the reason why I would not add this to my daily arsenal is because of the first third zinginess and the final third zinginess coming back. That would just annoy the shit out of me. You know, I'd always be like, oh, I like this part. Like I said, I very rarely put a cigar in my mouth and smoke it no matter what I'm doing, where I'm just smoking it and I'm not thinking about it. Every puff that I take, I have like a ritual that I do subconsciously, but I take it in, I kind of taste it. I don't chew on it, but I kind of push my mouth together. I can taste it on the palate. I get about a good third of the smoke blown out, and the rest will come out through the retrohale, or another third through the retrohale, and the last third through my mouth. And that way I pick up the palate and I pick up the retrohale all in one experience. And I'm thinking about it and I'm paying attention to it. That's why I don't promote, oh, well, it's a good yard guard, like I said in the previous review, because if it's a good yard guard, that's all it's good for, well, then it's just not good enough for me. And I don't like it. Whatever. But that's just me. So I got a little split right here now. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of coming apart right there. Not from where I took, it's where the band was at, but it didn't happen while I was taking the band off. So it just happened from heat and expansion. Be honest with you, this probably could do with a purge, but I'm on my way to the cigar store. I'm about 10 miles out. So when I get there, I'm going to forget about this thing because there's a plethora of cigars. But I got some new ones on the list that I'm looking for, some that just came out. Like I said, I don't want to be doing reviews on cigars that have been done or that aren't exciting, that people aren't searching for, because brand new channel. I'm not in my studio right now. I'm using the office / truck as my studio. And another reason why I do that, people are like, oh, you're in your truck, you're smoking in your truck. This is my favorite place to smoke a cigar. Okay, I'm in here by myself. Okay, it's comfortable. I got the Lariat package. I got the leather. I got the options in my truck. And I'm comfortable. I can keep the climate comfortable. And I can really concentrate on the cigar I'm smoking because I got no distractions. I'm not sitting at home and my dog's barking or, phone might ring or whatnot. People come over. So anyway, I feel real comfortable in my truck, and it's one of my favorite places to smoke. But as far as the reviews goes, I got a little home studio I'm building up so I can get a little bit more professional quality, because like I said, this is number 4 or 5 video reviews, but I've got more coming out, and I need your support. Okay, I need you to hit that subscribe button. I need you to, if you see this on Facebook, I need you to share it. I need you to like it, share it, tell your friends, your mama, your grandma's ex-roommate from 50 years ago to subscribe to this channel. Who knows? We may get them into smoking cigars. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any bitches and gripes, complaints, if I didn't live up to your satisfaction, hey, leave me a message, send me a message. Give me some criticism. My film quality, my videos, whatever. I got thick skin and I want to hear from you. So this is your man, Laird Mayhew, your Cigar Sherpa, reminding you to be polite to everybody that you meet. But always have a backup plan in case you got to shoot them in the face.